Walk through any Disney park right now, and you'll see record crowds, families traveling from everywhere, packed restaurants, endless lines, and souvenir carts constantly rolling by. It looks like money is printing itself. But just 3 miles away, at headquarters in Burbank, the reality is very different. Layoffs, canceled projects, and dismantled creative teams. 2 snapshots of the same empire that no longer fit in the same frame. This year alone, Disney wrote off nearly $1 billion in failed projects. At the same time, it announced multi-billion-dollar cost cuts, enough to buy Pixar again from scratch. And in parallel, an activist investor spent $40 million trying to reshape the board in the most expensive proxy fight the entertainment industry can remember. The effect is clear. Fans are starting to feel disillusioned. Where there used to be magic, they now see empty promises. Creators watch decades of hard-earned knowledge walk out the door with a layoff email. The company that built dreams is dismantling the machine that made them possible. The question is no longer whether Disney will survive. The question is whether Disney will still be Disney. Before we go deeper, remember to like the video and subscribe to Axis. Let's start with the big twist. Why bring Bob Iger out of retirement just to hand him a chainsaw? On November 20th, 2022, Disney's board fired Bob Chapek and brought Iger back. That same day, Iger told investors exactly what his mandate was: cut $7.5 billion in 2 years. Why? Because streaming was bleeding $4 billion a year, the stock was down 45%, and activist investors were demanding Netflix-style margins from a company built on theme parks and theatrical spectacle. The comeback plan was surgical and brutal at the same time. Slash content spending across Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN. Eliminate thousands of corporate jobs through rolling layoffs. Restructure distribution deals. Cancel underperforming projects even mid-production. Consolidate and shut down redundant divisions. In March 2023, the first blow landed. 7,000 layoffs across every area. Teams that had spent years building franchise universes received a 2-paragraph email. Projects in active development vanished overnight. Entire departments designed to incubate new intellectual property simply ceased to exist. Wall Street applauded. The stock jumped 6% the day of the announcement. Investors finally saw a CEO willing to prioritize short-term profit over long-term creative investment. And every quarterly call began to sound more like a celebration of jobs eliminated than stories created. Iger earned credibility by swinging the axe. Chapek never could. But here's the irony. The man who built Disney's modern empire by acquiring Pixar, Marvel, and Lucasfilm was now dismantling the creative scaffolding that made those acquisitions valuable. The cuts solved one problem. The theatrical releases created an even bigger one. In 2023, Disney wrote off $965 million on just 4 movies. These were massive bets, with franchise potential, backed by marketing budgets north of $100 million each. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania cost $200 million in production alone and debuted with a 47% score on Rotten Tomatoes, the worst opening in MCU history. Audiences rejected it. Too much CGI, too many convoluted plots, not enough heart. What was supposed to launch Marvel's next phase turned into a flashing warning sign. Without stories that matter, effects don't save the night. The pattern repeated. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, with a budget close to $300 million, fell short of global expectations. The Marvels ranked among the lowest-grossing MCU films ever. Haunted Mansion failed to draw audiences despite being based on one of the park's most beloved attractions. Each stumble tightened the creative corset even more. Fewer opportunities for new projects, trimmed budgets for surviving franchises, zero tolerance for risk. And behind the scenes, the lingering bill from the pandemic. Delays that inflated costs, multi-million-dollar reshoots, endless post-production cycles, expensive health protocols. Films that took years to make were returning less than what was spent on marketing alone. The theatrical revenue model that fueled Disney's creative ambition for decades was breaking in real time. The official response was less, but better. Production slowed. The promise was quality over quantity. The consequence was abandoning the volume that turned Marvel and Star Wars into global cultural phenomena. And here's another paradox. The market rewarded the slowdown. The stock rose 3% when the deceleration was announced. Disney gained value by producing less of what made it great. On the other front, streaming. It was supposed to be the future. It became another headache. Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers in the first fiscal quarter of 2025, then added 1.4 million in the second. That volatility is expensive when you're spending $24 billion a year on content. By Q2 2025, Disney Plus reached 126 million subscribers and generated $336 million in direct-to-consumer operating income. Sounds good. Until you remember that since launch, cumulative losses exceeded $11 billion. For perspective, Disney paid $7.4 billion for Pixar and $4 billion for Marvel, nearly the same amount that evaporated in the streaming war. On top of that, the average subscriber sticks around for about 8 months before canceling. Acquiring one costs roughly $40 in marketing. If they pay $7.99 a month for 8 months, Disney collects about $62 per user and has already spent $40 to bring them in. That fragile math collapses when you spread $24 billion in content costs across 126 million subscribers, about $190 per user per year. Pricing experiments didn't help. Raising the monthly fee triggered cancellations and more password sharing. Launching an ad-supported tier at $4.99 brought back some price-sensitive viewers, but ad revenue didn't offset what was lost from downgraded premium plans. There's another problem. The content pipeline takes, on average, 18 months. What you greenlight today arrives in 2026. If subscriber numbers drop between approval and release, the financial mismatch is unavoidable. Disney Plus became a $24 billion annual commitment to an audience that, unlike park visitors, doesn't book months in advance and isn't nearly as loyal. That environment opened the door for Nelson Peltz. The billionaire behind Trian Fund Management launched a public crusade. TV ads, websites, shareholder letters, meetings that felt like rallies. His goal? Enviable margins and a board seat to influence creative and strategic decisions. The fight cost around $40 million on each side. In April 2024, the shareholder vote became a referendum on Disney's direction. Disney won. Peltz was kept out. But the victory wasn't free. Every attack forced executives to justify creative tools that build value over years. Board meetings shifted from 5-year thinking to quarterly defenses. Executive energy moved from nurturing the creative pipeline to satisfying short-term demands. And the message left hanging over Wall Street was dangerous. Disney's creative decisions can be questioned, challenged, and eventually reversed. The cuts reached the core of the studios. Marvel quietly announced it would slow the MCU from 4 releases a year to 2. Officially, a strategic reset. Unofficially, each canceled project saved close to $200 million in production costs. What that number doesn't capture is the ecosystem. The MCU generated $29 billion at the box office in 15 years, and every film, even the weaker ones, drives merchandise, subscriptions, and park attendance. Reducing volume means starving the machine that feeds the entire system. Star Wars faced even deeper cuts. Series shelved without announcement. Rogue Squadron postponed indefinitely. Projects disappearing from the slate without explanation. Concept artists, writers, pre-production teams, layoffs, dissolutions, locked doors. The structural damage is less visible, but more severe. Disney's creative pipeline runs on 3 to 5 year cycles. What you cut today means fewer films and series in 2027 and 2028. It's mortgaging the future to polish the quarter. While Disney slowed down, competitors sped up. Netflix announced $17 billion for original content. Amazon bet $1 billion on its Lord of the Rings series. Both are building franchise universes competing for the same screen time Disney is leaving behind. Investors applauded every cancellation, as if today's savings wouldn't create tomorrow's vacuum. The company that once dominated popular culture with an endless flow of quality content chose fewer projects, supposedly better ones. The creative engine ran out of fuel, not by accident, by design. This isn't just about spreadsheets, it's about people. Since Iger's return in 2022, Disney eliminated over 8,000 jobs through rounds in March and May 2023, and the most recent in June 2025. Animators who refined Disney's visual language for years received a polite "we're sorry" by email. Writers who balanced loyalty and innovation, gone. Producers who guided billion-dollar franchises from PowerPoint to Phenomenon, gone. 20-year veterans were notified on a Friday afternoon and escorted out by security with their belongings in a box. The teams that made history were scattered across the market or pushed out of the industry. Every departure is institutional knowledge that doesn't come back. The animator who knows exactly how Mickey's ears should look. The writer who understands why certain Star Wars arcs resonate across generations. The producer whose contact list unlocks A-list talent. It's a slow-motion brain drain. At the same time, public perception soured. The same year 8,000 jobs were cut, Bob Iger received $31.6 million in compensation. Social media did the rest. Videos of packed parks alongside LinkedIn posts from former employees. The contrast between visible success and treatment of creative talent became impossible to ignore. Internal morale dropped. Those who stayed saw workloads double, autonomy shrink, and opportunities put on hold. And when culture erodes, the best people leave. Netflix and Amazon were ready with open arms. All of this leads to the central dilemma, choosing between quarterly performance and long-term value creation. The financial recovery proves that Wall Street metrics and creative magic operate on different timelines. Studios need predictable cash flow to satisfy markets. Audiences demand risks that create cultural moments. Every entertainment company faces this tension, but not all respond the same way. Netflix understood that as Disney pulled back, it was time to invest more, not less. The winner won't be decided by the next earnings call, but by who builds the most irresistible story worlds over the next decade. Disney is betting that financial discipline will bring focus, and with it, audiences back. The alternative is that those audiences migrate permanently to companies that never stopped betting on creative ambition. Because what's at stake isn't just a balance sheet, it's an identity. And when a creative company starts thinking in 90-day cycles, everything that takes years to bloom risks withering before it's born. So are we witnessing the beginning of the end of Disney, or the turning point that forces it to rediscover its essence? You decide. Tell me what you think in the comments. I read them all. And if you're interested in corporate strategy and the future of entertainment, like the video and subscribe to Axis. We have many more videos coming, and you won't believe the next one. It's truly surprising. Click here to watch it now.